It's Thursday, and I normally go to class every Tuesday and Thursday, but I'm thinking about skipping class tonight, and I'm gonna tell you why and why it doesn't matter. I had a great conversation with one of my subscriber friends this morning on my way to work. It was via Instagram, Messenger, and we did some voice messages because I'm on the freeway, But we had a good conversation. And this young man, I won't say his name because I don't know if he wants his business in the streets, but this young man is training often. I think he said like 8 times a week, which is insane. I was planning on doing 4 times this week. 4, and I was feeling like I was killing it. This guy's doing 8, so he is me times 2, and he's killing it. Anyhow, I feel like, and I felt like, that maybe we're being a little too hard on ourselves when it comes to how much we train, when we train, how often we train, and especially if we miss a session. Let me explain what I mean. How do we balance jiu-jitsu with work time and family time and everything else we have going on? I'm gonna tell you why. Now see, it's challenging when you're an adult, when you're a grown man like myself. You got kids, you got a job. I'm at work right now. Maybe you're in school. Maybe, I don't know, you're trying to have kids. You have church obligations. You have whatever it is. You're in a band, okay, whatever it is. But sometimes jiu-jitsu can feel obsessive, okay? If you watch or you look at the memes, the reels on Instagram, people are always talking about like the wife complaining you go to jiu-jitsu too much, or your girlfriend saying it's me or jiu-jitsu, stuff like that. It's obviously a challenge because we love this thing and we want to do this thing all the time, but then sometimes life gets in the way. And so I wanted to talk about some things that might help you, some things that have helped me, some things that I'm working on because I don't have it all figured out, that might make it so that jiu-jitsu is not in competition with family time, with wife or significant other time. It's not in competition with school or kids or whatever, but instead we can bring it all together and work all together. Now, the reason why I'm thinking about skipping class tonight is because the new Captain America comes out technically tomorrow, but that means we got some showings tonight. And just the way everything goes, I don't want to go see a midnight show. I'm too old, I'm too tired. So I thought maybe I'll go see like a 7 or 8 o'clock show. But tonight's class at Gracie University starts at 6:30. So I'm like, do I want to miss class for Captain America? I've already gone twice this week. I did Monday, Tuesday. I'm going Saturday for sure. So I'm like, there's my 3 times. But I was really trying to get 4 this week. And I'm wondering, feeling kind of guilty, like, man, am I slacking because I just got my stripe? Am I not taking it seriously? Am I not grinding as hard because I just got a stripe? And so I had to really kind of forgive myself. I had to really take a step back and look at this thing from like the 30,000 foot perspective, kind of a holistic perspective. And here's what I came up with. We want to come up with time management strategies to maximize your freaking efficiency. What does that mean? Well, I live and die by my Google Calendar. You saw my spreadsheet in the other video. My Google Calendar is even crazier. I live and die by my calendar. School stuff, work stuff, kid stuff, my business. I have my own business. That stuff is in there. I tell my family knows if it's on the calendar, it doesn't exist. If it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. If my kid says, Dad, I need you to pick me up from soccer practice at 3 o'clock on Friday, the first thing I say to them is it on the calendar? Because if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't freaking exist. So you want to maximize your efficiency. What does that mean? What does that look like? Well, you want to use the tools that God and Google have given you to be successful. And what I mean by that is something like a Google Calendar or a freaking Apple Calendar or whatever it is. Set reminders, set alerts, and put it on there so you don't forget the things that are important to you. Nothing will tick off a loved one faster. Oops, I hit my computer. Nothing will tick off a loved one faster than screwing up an appointment or missing something in the name of jiu-jitsu, all right? And speaking of loved ones, the second thing I'll tell you that you should do is try to integrate your family. Try to bring them into your jiu-jitsu experience, your jiu-jitsu world, right? I think, let me just speak for myself. When I did Taekwondo and my kids were involved, and eventually my wife was kind of involved, not because she was competing or participating, but she was going to the different events and she was watching and she was cheering and she was recording. So if you get your family involved and it becomes a family event, it's much easier to carve out that time and to get that time because your family understands the appeal, your family understands why it's important, your family wants to be a part of it. Now, it's expensive to train jiu-jitsu, and getting your whole family to train jiu-jitsu is going to be really freaking expensive. And if your wife is like my wife, she probably wants nothing to do with jiu-jitsu. Now, maybe you got a kid like my daughter who's kind of involved or interested in women empowered or women's self-defense. There you go. Bring her into it. Bring the family into it. The more people, the more family members that are excited about jiu-jitsu, the better it will be. And maybe they don't go and train at Gracie University or you keep showing up university. Maybe they're not on the actual mats at the actual school and you're not paying $150, $200 a month for them. Maybe you can just train at home. If you're Gracie University like me, you got the online classes. So maybe you get your family to roll with you in the garage on the mats. I'm thinking about doing that myself. Get my son involved. He's 6'1", 220 pounds. He's a good training partner. If I can get him to get and roll around in the garage with me, he might understand the appeal. He might recognize how important this is to me. And even if he doesn't participate, maybe I can invite him to the big moments. For example, when I ever do a competition, you darn tootin' I'm gonna invite my family. And some people say you shouldn't because it gives you added pressure. And maybe that's true. Maybe it's too much pressure to invite your family to your first competition. But I would invite them to future competitions. If you're getting promoted, you know you're getting a new belt on Friday the 13th or whatever, invite your family. When they see your name get called and everybody claps for you when you go up to get a stripe, or when they see your name get called and everybody claps for you when you go up to get a new belt, they'll understand, hey, this is a big deal. Look at all these people that are here. Look at all these people that are clapping. Look at all these people that are excited. They'll understand it if they can see it and kind of experience it for themselves. I plan on the next time Gracie University does a women's self-defense seminar, I plan on inviting my wife and my daughter. I think I can get them to commit to at least one day, and they'll see and feel and experience the vibe, the handshakes, the high fives, the hanging out and talking after class, the energy, the fun, the vibe and the I don't know, positive nature of jiu-jitsu. But right now it's just something the dad wants to do, right? The next thing I'll tell you need to focus on is you have to set boundaries and protect jiu-jitsu. I know it's easy to neglect other things in the name of jiu-jitsu, but sometimes we neglect jiu-jitsu in the name of other things. Let me tell you what I mean. If you have a calendar, like I said, time management, you have a Google Calendar. If you look at my Google Calendar right now, I have scheduled on that calendar jiu-jitsu at this day at this time. It's on my calendar and nothing else can be scheduled at that time. Every day, Tuesday, Thursday, 6:30 to 7:30. Of course, I got to block off some time for the driving. It's on the calendar. So if my wife, my kids want to do something and they look at the calendar or they go to put something on the calendar and it says jiu-jitsu, they will ask me, hey, Dad, can you miss jiu-jitsu that day? It's my blah, blah, blah. Sure. Hey, Dad, are you able to skip jiu-jitsu that day or go a different day because blah, 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 right? Whatever it is. But I protect that thing because it's important to me. If it's important to you, you make it a priority and maybe you schedule it on your calendar so nobody tries to screw it up or take it or look at it like it's not important. If you make it a priority, maybe your family, your friends, your coworkers, your boss will see it as a priority, okay? Anytime you have something, like I always say, you gotta have one good homie and one good hobby. That's a whole nother thing. We can talk about that later. But this is your one good hobby. This is the thing that allows you to decompress and turn off your brain and all your mental health stuff, your stress relief, all that good stuff. So protect it. Make it a priority. If you had an appointment with a therapist you paid $180 a month, whatever, wouldn't you keep that appointment? Keep that appointment with jiu-jitsu. Make it a priority. Explain it to your wife, your family, your kids. This is what Dad needs to be healthy. This is what Dad needs to get his mind right. This is what Dad needs to get his fitness right. And so I'm gonna do this 2-3 times a week at this day and this time. I'm flexible. If you wanna move things around, that's cool. But if it's not super important, if it's not your fall play, your spring concert, your ballet recital, then I'm going to freaking jiu-jitsu, right? Set boundaries. Set boundaries about how often you want to train, when you want to train, put it on the calendar, make sure your family, your friends, your boss, your kids understand how important it is to you. And like I said before, if you involve them in it, they'll have an appreciation. And if you use the calendar, like I talked about under time management, then you'll have a procedure in place for it to be seen and to be appreciated and to be validated, all right? The next thing I'll say to get the most out of jiu-jitsu and balance work and time and all this stuff is to optimize your training. Now, me as a white belt, I can't tell you what to do because I'm still brand new. But when I was training at a Keep Showing Up University and I was trying to figure out how best to learn for myself, I set my own specific goals. I said, okay, this month I want to work on back escapes. This month I want to work on mount escapes. This month I want to work on blah, 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 blah. If my instructor was okay with it, which as long as it was defensive, they were okay with it, we did that. All my private lessons, we worked on escapes 1 month at a time, right? You set a goal, you're specific. When you roll, if you roll, you set a goal. Okay, I want to make sure I can get out of mount. So, hey man, can we start with you in mount? I'm going to try to get out. Boom. You optimize your training. Don't just show up without a plan. It's like going to the grocery store and you're supposed to make dinner, but you don't know what the hell to buy. You walk in the grocery store, you're overwhelmed. There's too many things. And God forbid you go to the grocery store hungry. You go to the grocery store hungry, you're coming out with ice cream and chips and all kinds of bad stuff. You got to have a plan. So just like you make a shopping list, just like you make a grocery shopping list, you make a jiu-jitsu shopping list. What do you want to pick up at the jiu-jitsu training hall today, at the academy today? I want to pick up a Kimura. Okay, I'm putting Kimura on my list. I'm going to try to hit the Kimura from every position today. And I'm going to go for it with everything I got. If you have those parameters, if you're like me and you're Gracie University, you're going to go in with the training. Like my goal right now is 3 classes a week. 3 classes a week, 3 classes a week, 3 classes a week. That's what I want to do. Right now, I got Stripe 1. I'm going to get 20 classes, then get Stripe 2. Then my next focus is start the reflex development. After reflex development, boom, I get 60 classes. I get Stripe 3, boom, I'm going to start the Master Cycle Fundamentals. So I can start that process. So all these things are in my plan. Right now, it's keep showing up. It's consistency. Go at least 3 times a week, learn this stuff, get the check marks on the card, get to the next level so you can start reflex development. Get the check marks on the card, get to the next level so you can start Master Cycle Fundamentals. Get the check marks on the card, get to the next level so you can take and pass the freaking test. All right? One more thing I would say is how to overcome the guilt. Tonight, I want to go see that Captain America movie. That's why I'm tripping about not going to class. I really want to see Captain America. We got Black Captain America. That's exciting, right? We got the Red Hulk. I love the Hulk. He's my favorite character, the Incredible Hulk. So I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. Let's go check out the thing. And I'm like, but I'm going to miss class. And that makes me feel guilty, and that guilt sucks. So here's what I want you to do. If and when you miss a class, I made a video about this the other day, forgive yourself. I guess it's like cheating on your diet, right? If you're eating healthy, you have a very strict, regimented diet, and you decide to have an ice cream cone, that's not the end of the world, okay? You want to reframe it as like giving yourself a break, a little cheat day, if you will. So if you're about that life, about that goal, about that business, and you decide and you skip one class to go watch Captain America, it's not the end of the world. You're not gonna die, nobody got hurt. You can make up that class later. Hell, I'm already gonna have 3 classes this week. It's not that big of a deal. So you're looking at jiu-jitsu as self-improvement. You're looking at jiu-jitsu as something regimented that you're dedicated to, you're putting your time in, it's on the calendar, you're prioritizing it. You told your family recognizes how important it is to you. And if you skip a day, that's like having an ice cream cone on your diet. It's not the end of the world. Get back on track, get back on the bicycle, and keep on riding. I guess the ultimate thing is just find your balance. You know, talking to the homeboy this morning, he's doing 8 classes a day. He's got his son involved, so he's doing a lot of the things I'm talking about right now. He says he wants to be an instructor. I want to be an instructor, so we're going after this thing, with all we got. But we have to give ourselves a little bit of grace too, because if you go too hard, too fast, you'll burn out a little bit. That hasn't happened to me yet, but I've heard it can happen, and I expected it could happen. So I don't like doing these kind of self-help things. It makes me feel like the all-seeing oracle, right? I'm the guru who has all the answers. I don't have all the answers, but damn it, I have some. If you can manage your time, use a calendar, whatever, make it a priority, schedule your time, schedule your jiu-jitsu, and keep that appointment, keep that date with yourself. If you can get your family involved so they see and recognize the importance of what you're doing. Maybe they come to a belt promotion ceremony. Maybe they come to a tournament. Maybe they come just watch a class. Maybe they do a self-defense seminar. Whatever it is, they see, recognize, and understand how important this is to you and why it's important to you. And if they can't come to one of those things, maybe you do it in the garage. Maybe you work out together. You involve them. You let your child be the uke for something. And maybe they get it and they have a little fun and they understand it a little better. Set your boundaries. Protect jiu-jitsu. Schedule jiu-jitsu. Make sure everybody knows how important it is to you. Optimize your training. Show up with the plan. Show up with an objective. Train with a purpose. And of course, if you do fall off and you do miss a class, like I said in the other video, it's not the end of the world. Don't feel guilty. You still have plenty of time. I hope this helps. And I don't know if I'm going to go to class tonight. It starts in 3.5 hours. So I got a little time left and I got to decide. But right now, I got to finish grading. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, any comments, any feedback, hit me up on social media at Chris Learns Jiu-Jitsu. You can leave me a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you watch this video all the way to the end and you're not a subscriber, click that stinking subscribe button because I want to help as many people as I can. And I don't think I'm, a self-help guy. I just really think that there are a lot of people apparently, because they keep hitting me up on social media, out there like me, married with kids, maybe a little older, maybe a little chubbier, trying to figure out this whole jiu-jitsu thing. And if I can help just by sharing my journey, and if I can help myself by documenting my journey, I'm gonna do it. So feel free to hit me up anytime. Social media at Chris Learns Jiu-Jitsu. Hit me up on the comments right here. And that's it. Stay focused, stay positive, and of course, stay vigilant. See you next time.